Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Today, as always, I have a general reading for you. And as always with the general reading, only take what resonates and leave the rest. It is a timeless message and it can be past, present or future, depending on where you're at on your healing journey. Spirit will always guide you to a message that you need to hear exactly when you need to hear it. For the ease of channeling, I'm going to use the pronouns he, she, but by all means, swap them out for the ones that fit for you if they don't. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what messages we have for the collective today. What does Spirit want us to know today? Message for the collective, please, Spirit. We have Star Brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety and trust. Earth, learning how to be human in the world but not of it. Okay. I'm being drawn to the fact that she's like surrounded by some sort of bubble, okay, and the fact that this says protection, okay. So whatever this is, this situation, whatever's going on with this energy, you are protected, you are safe, okay. You may be being isolated by spirit at this time. I also feel like you're grounded in your truth. You're grounded in the truth that you are protected by spirit. Horus energy. You could have Horus as a oh, what's the word? On your spirit team, basically, as one of your guides. Thank you, Spirit. Couldn't get the words out then. I also feel like somebody is understanding how protected you are, okay, and how different you are. And I feel like somebody kind of rejected you because you're different, but now they're seeing that this is a blessing. They're seeing it differently. They're seeing you differently. They're understanding and realizing how protected by spirit you are, and understanding that there's more to you than meets the eye. You're not of this world, okay. You're not. I also almost wanted to say that you're not human, okay. That you're a star seed, that there's your divine, you carry divine energy. Someone's seeing for themselves who you really are in your divine energy, cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Yes, somebody's seeing through someone's seeing you on a deeper level. You may also be somebody that shows them, like gets them to look into a mirror, but I feel this is more about you and other people realizing that you're not of this world, that you are, there is something different about you. There is something different about you. Someone's getting to the truth of who you are. Messenger, serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. Yeah, you're a messenger of God. Spirit, source, creation, whoever your belief system is, okay. Somebody's realizing that there's definitely more to you than meets the eye, and what they see on the surface, they were looking at your physical self, and judging you based on what they could see. Somebody was like literally rejected you and made fun of you because you're different. They could have made fun of you for your appearance and the way you look, but they're realizing that's not actually who you are. That your body is just a vessel for something greater. This to me feels like your soul, your higher self. Oh, the camera. This is like your soul, your higher self. Somebody is seeing your spiritual self I'll just keep hearing you are not normal. You are not of this world. So before, people were laughing about this, and now they're shocked. They're like, I just heard, oh crap. That's very interesting. Somebody's realizing that you're very, very grounded. Very, very balanced within yourself. They're also realizing that you can see through them. So now they feel foolish. Ah, okay. Somebody you interacted with, and it may not be somebody that you know. Okay. So there's a person or a group of people that thought that you couldn't see what they were doing because they couldn't see who you are. Now they're realizing that, like, there's something to do with your spiritual, your spiritual abilities. You're not of this world. You're not of this world. You're rare. Someone's realizing they fucked around with an earth angel, with a very high dimensional being. Your knowledge and your wisdom is not of this world. You know things and you do things that you're here to free others. You freed yourself, and now you're using that energy and that knowledge to free others, and they didn't understand this about you. They didn't believe this about you. But there's something about the knowledge and wisdom that you have that can only have come from somewhere else, because there's no explanation for it. There is something to do with your abilities. Your spiritual nature is not of this world. I mean, I feel like there are people within this person or this group that deemed themselves spiritual. And by deemed themselves spiritual, I mean they believe in certain things, and they're into, mediums and going to mediumship. But you take it deeper than that. There is more to you than just, or maybe they thought you were just, that's just as far as you went. But you're someone who's into, I'm hearing portals. You have information on portals, the planets, the stars, like I'm hearing Arcturus. So the ETs, you have knowledge and wisdom. You have like knowledge about Egyptian gods and things like that you couldn't pick up in a book. There's something to do with that, and they're like, they're both in awe of this and scared. Your knowledge and wisdom with regards to I'm talking deeper levels, I'm talking portals, I'm talking ley lines, I'm talking other dimensions. You take it beyond what people see as spirituality. Most people see spirituality as tarot cards, as going to a medium and talking to passed over loved ones. But you take it that step further. You're higher ranking, and they've never come across anyone like you, and they tried to reject you at first because of it, because they thought it was weird, and they didn't actually realize that you had all this spiritual knowledge. And now something's made them realize that there's, I don't know, it's something you do, something you've said But this person or this group of people are realizing, yeah, you're not of this world. That's all I keep hearing is like, you are not of this world. You are not of this world. What are you? Who are you? What are you? You're not normal. You're not human. Because you're doing things, your abilities aren't, like, you may be, so we all have spiritual abilities, we all have intuition, we all have something, but you are somebody who either has all of the abilities because of your level of ranking in spirit, or you have certain abilities that are kind of like not normal to this person or this group of people, that they've never come across something. Okay, let's get some clarification, because all I keep hearing, your resilience as well, your resilience isn't human. They think that your resilience and your strength, they're understanding that your strength and your resilience is otherworldly, that it comes from within you, that it comes from your faith and your trust and that in the divine, because there's something to do with, they're looking at you going, do you know what, something that you've been through, and these people are looking at you going, that would have broken me, that would have broken me, how are you still getting up, how are you still going? And these people may have tried to do something to you, and just heard my phone vibrate, confirmation, they may have tried to do something to you that they didn't think that you would overcome, and you overcame it. And they're like, and that may be what's made them realize you're not normal. Your strength and your resilience comes from spirit. Because you know you're protected by spirit. You trust and have faith in your protection from the divine. You're highly protected because of your spiritual rank, and because of your trust and faith in the divine. Your strength comes, it's spiritual strength. It's not, you may be, so what I'm seeing is somebody, it's almost like, I'm seeing Captain America. And when you first see Steve Rogers, he's like weak, he's got no muscle, he's really ill, and then they inject him with whatever it is, and all of a sudden he's muscly, he's strong. And this is what these people are seeing. They saw you as being someone weak because physically maybe you're someone who's quite small, maybe you know, to them you were coming across as like this, like just weak, no backbone, easily pushed around energy. Okay, someone they could easily push around, because I feel like were making fun of you for this, and that's where this appearance could come in. And you weren't physically, something to do with it could also have been like if you had some sort of health issue, that these people took advantage of that because that made you weaker. But your strength didn't come from your physical body, it came from spirit, and you trusted and had faith in that. And now these people are seeing you go from Steve Rogers before he has the injections, to Steve Rogers who's pumped. And it's like a glow up, basically. They're seeing you. They didn't realize, like, something to do with them not realizing or believing in your spiritual rank, or making fun of you. Maybe they thought that you, I want to say, delusional in your spiritual beliefs and your belief of your protected from spirit. But something about this person or this group of people making fun of you for your beliefs within spirit. But actually, they're not laughing now. They're the ones with egg on their face, because they've seen firsthand that you are protected. Something they did to you, something they tried to do to you that they're saying they wouldn't have overcome, you overcame. But it's not just that, they're learning more about you and what you've been through. I don't know where they're getting their information from because it's not coming from you, but they're learning something about you and asking and saying to themselves, like, you're not normal. No normal person would have overcome this. It would have broken them. So they thought it would break you, and it didn't. And it's almost like they've got this newfound respect for you. And it's like, fair play, right? But at the same time, they're like, oh, crap. Then everything we were warned about, we were warned not to go up against them, this person, and we didn't listen, and oh, here comes karma. So it's like at the same this could be one or two people that are this energy could be one or two people, or it could be that that one person is experiencing both sides of this. This person or this group, there's this newfound respect for you, for overcoming, for your strength, and then the realization of, oh shit, we effed around and now we're finding out. We effed around, we were warned, and now, uh-oh, you know. They're also very aware that you can see through them. Waiting. They've been sitting around waiting for you to crack. Waiting for the cracks to appear. Waiting for you to crumble and reveal who you truly are in a, this is what we believe you are. So we're just, they thought you were too good to be true. And they were sitting around and waiting for you to slip up. For you to show them that they were right. And you haven't. You've stayed true to who you are, maintained your truth and integrity, and you've cracked open, but now you revealing your true self to them in spirit, are revealing to these people just who you are and how highly ranked in spirit you are. And now they're like, oh, crap. But at the same time, they're looking at you in awe and like respect. So whilst they've been waiting for you to remove the mask of what, so you were telling, but you were try, like, in their eyes, you were like a goody two shoes, couldn't do anything wrong. You were this perfect person, and they didn't believe that there was anyone that was that pure. Okay, they didn't believe you. So they've gone out of their way. They've waited. They've watched, and they've waited for you to crack. They set things in place. They put things in place to test you because they wanted to reveal who you truly were. And it didn't happen because you saw through their plotting and their planning, and as a result of that, you continued to focus on your path and maintain your truth and your integrity. And going back to Steve Rogers, you were showing them that this, in their eyes, this weak individual. And what you've done is gone, okay, let me shed this layer of me, and now you're going to get the other version of me, that you're going to see my spiritual strength. You're going to see just how protected I am, and I'm not going to lift a finger. I'm just going to continue to focus on myself. So while they were focused on you and trying to bring you down, you were focused on you, and now you've had this glow up, and now they're like, they've got a newfound respect for you. Like, you're somebody who goes out of the, like, you prove people wrong. Okay, you prove people wrong. You've proved this group of people wrong, this person or this group. And like I say, there's this realization of, oh, we fucked around, and now we're going to find out, because they're realizing they were warned, and you're exactly who you said you were. Let's get some more clarification, please, Spirit. It may feel like, this feels to me like you're a late bloomer, or that this, it feels like them receiving karma has been a long time coming. But you best believe it's coming. Like, you, I feel like, yeah, you're a late bloomer, and you're finally stepping in to who you're releasing. You've released the final layer of basically giving a shit what other people think about you, and you've freed yourself. You are focusing on the people that are open to your knowledge and what you've got to receive. And if those people, and if there's people out here, hey, you live life to the beat of your own drum. You go with the flow. You have no issue releasing someone. You know, you pick your battles. You know when to pour your cup into people, and you know when to keep that for yourself. Okay. You've ended a cycle of like these people, or people taking from you and it not being balanced. You've ended this cycle within yourself, and as a result of this, people that went up against you are now receiving karma. They're receiving their tower. Everything is falling apart from them. So everything they wanted for you is now coming around for them. And whilst we don't wish ill on others, please send these people healing from a distance, because we don't wish this on anyone. However, the scales of karma do have to be balanced, and that is not up to us. That is down to Spirit to sort out. And these people were given multiple opportunities to put things right, multiple opportunities to stop their smear campaign, and they chose not to. And now there's a heavy price to pay for coming up against an Earth Angel. You know, we're not here to save people from their karma, because in doing that we can take it on for ourselves and make our own lives harder, but also because you're not then holding people accountable, and then they're never going to do their shadow work. You're not here to save people from their karma. You are here to do your own shadow work, and then as a result, that doesn't mean that you're not here to help others, but it's knowing who to help and who to walk away from, because not everybody wants your help. Okay. And you may not be the right person for them. I do feel like you were sent into this group of people knowing exactly who you were and what you brought to the table, but you were masked by Spirit to see how Spirit wanted to see how these people would treat you. Because it feels like these people have done this to other people in the past. So God, Source, Universe sent in an Earth Angel to help these people, because these people kind of like, you were their unanswered, not their unanswered prayers, but their silent prayers. Like, silently they'd been calling for help and wanting things to change. So God, Source, Universe, Creation, they sent you in to assist with that change, and these people rejected you. And I'm seeing there's like a meme or a video or something that goes around about there's a person in the water that needs saving, and they're calling out, God save me, please, please send someone to help me. And somebody comes along in a boat, in like a little rowboat, and says, do you want to help? No, 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 God's going to save me, God's going to save me. Okay, all right, so the boat goes on. Someone else comes along with a bigger boat. No, 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 it's okay, God's going to save me. And then the point of it is like, but God was saving you with that first boat. But because it didn't look, and this is where your looks come in, because it didn't look like it could save you, because it didn't look, because these people were so focused on the material and the way things look, they didn't realize that you were being sent in from the divine to save them. So they rejected you, because in their eyes you weren't physically, you didn't look like what they were after. And this is God's point. Because God masks his chosen ones for a time to see how people will treat them. It was a lesson for these people to, basically these people were like, in some sense it was vanity, and because something doesn't look a certain way, then it's not good enough. It didn't, like, you didn't look spiritual, you didn't act spiritual, but the spirit doesn't ask for actors. Okay, you didn't fit their idea of spirituality, so, you know, they sent you away. They asked for, again, this is like coming back to like manifestation, and when you want to manifest something, you have to be open to how that comes in. So it's not necessarily going to manifest in the way that you want help. So if people want, this person or this group of people wanted to manifest more money, and you were sent in to help them manifest that more money, they rejected it because you weren't money. You couldn't give them money. So this is why they rejected you, because you didn't look like what they were asking for. Because they were looking at your physical vessel, your physical body, and not from a deeper level and what you were offering on a higher level. They were looking for a quick fix, and you're not here to do a quick fix. You're here to build things and show people how to build things and grow things on a more stable foundation so that it lasts longer. These people were far too in their ego and lacking self-awareness to realise what you were offering them. So instead, they rejected you, and you'd have been okay with that if they'd have just said, yeah, you're not for me. But instead, they thought that they could go behind your back and mistreat you, and that you'd stick around. And no. Because you appeared weak on the surface to them, because you appeared physically weak, you had nothing, you may not have, at the time, you may not have had a job, you may not have had money, you may not have had anything that you could offer these people that they could, that was physical. You may not have had anything physical to offer these people, but it doesn't mean that you don't have anything to offer. And these people were too far into their materialism to recognize that at the time, so they decided to reject you and try and push you out. Again, with this Knight of Pentacles, this could be with regards to money, but this is also like them, like, not taking the time to get to know you and realizing that they should have waited, because you're a late bloomer. They should have just waited. They should have hung around, and now they're like regretting that. They're feeling really sorry for not doing that. But I genuinely don't know if they're sorry for mistreating you, or sorry because they've got caught out and they're now losing everything. We have spiritual gifts Archangel Raziel. Thank you, Raziel, for helping me channel my gifts and talents. What did I say to you? There is something about your spiritual gifts that had these people spooked. You are a mirror that spooked them because you reflected back at them what needed healing within them. You triggered their trauma, and you kind of, there's something to do with your warmth and your nurturing. You came in and you nurtured them in a way that they wanted as a child, and they didn't trust it because of their unhealed trauma from childhood. You came in with this warmth and this energy that people wanted to be around, but at the same time they didn't trust it because they felt like if they surrendered to you, that you'd end up making them look like a fool, and they've ended up looking a fool anyway because they didn't trust you. But what was being reflected in them not trusting you, what was reflecting back at them was where they were not trusting themselves and their own intuition with regards to what they were feeling about you, because they look for things outside of them to validate things. They are people that do not trust in what they can't see. If it's not being shown to them, then it's not real. Or if it's being shown to them, then that's the truth of what's happening. But they couldn't read you. Your words and actions were in alignment, and that unnerved them, and as a result of that, it triggered them because they felt like they could trust you, but their ego, the unhealed parts of them was so loud that it was telling, and because of their experiences, they were projecting past experiences where people have been nice and loving and caring towards them and then screwed them over, used them. They thought you were doing that as well. But what you were, reflecting back at them was where either they're screwing people over or they're screwing themselves over. But there's something that you've made with his hands. You may be a healer, and they didn't like your form of healing. There's something to do with, okay, so there's no judgment here, okay, because everybody is at a different level, and as I always say, everybody, and I don't care who you are, has something to offer, okay? You're either a lesson or a blessing. Everyone is. But there is something about you as a healer, but there are healers and that will come in and they'll just do Reiki or whatever. But you're not just surface level, because you're a higher vibration, and that doesn't mean that these people won't ascend. And it may be where you started, just doing the surface level. But as you grow and ascend, you'll then start to do your shadow work. So you're not just going to look at the surface level. You're going to get down to the deep, dark truth of why someone is doing something, why, and what they need to do to change that. Okay, you're going to uncover the truth. You're a deep diver. You're going to uncover the truth. Okay, and people didn't like that about you, because to do that they had to look at themselves in the mirror, and that's not easy to do. They didn't want to do that. But there's also something about, like, you've got multiple abilities, and they were kind of like jealous of that, and they didn't believe that there was anyone that could be that. It might not even be that you've got multiple spiritual abilities. It may be that you're kind of good at everything. Like, there's nothing you can't do if you put your mind to it. Like, it may also have been your ability to do what you want to do, but somebody didn't like that about you, and they thought you were too good to be true. Somebody thought you were like scamming them with regards to your abilities. I'm just hearing like you're multi-talented, but you're like multifaceted. There's more than one side to you. And people didn't take the time to find out that about you. Signs from heaven. Thank you, heaven, for sending me reminders of your presence. But you were sleeping peacefully because you're pure, you're innocent. You're protected. You trusted and had faith in the universe that whatever was going on, as hard as it was, that whatever was going on, whatever this thing was, it was for your highest and greatest good. We have inner power, the Divine Father. Divine Father, thank you for co-creating my world with me. The inner voice, thank you, angels, for guiding me through my inner voice. Yeah. So this could have involved a masculine figure. But you trusted your intuition with regards to this situation and what was going on, and you looked at what it was revealing within you that still needed healing. So like I said, whilst they were focused on you, you were focused on your spirituality and staying connected to the divine, and trusting and having faith in the bigger plan, in the bigger picture. On the bottom of the deck, we have honor your feelings. Archangel Haniel. Thank you, Haniel, for supporting me as I honor my emotions. Absolutely. I'm not saying that this situation hasn't or didn't bring up feelings of inadequacy within you because they were rejecting you, but you didn't let it take over. When those feelings came up, you looked at where they were coming from, you did the work, and you moved through them. And now, whatever this is, where they thought they were going to break you and crack you open, they are now cracking. The tables have turned, it's coming back on them, and now they're concerned because they don't know how far their karma's going to go to balance out, because they did a lot to you. And I do feel like this is multiple people, and everybody's going to get some sort of different karma. But I'm hearing someone, like, it's almost like they're arguing with each other over who did what. They're arguing with each other over who did what, because in some way they think if they blame the other person, that person can then take the karma for them, and that they'll not necessarily escape. I think they realise that they can't escape karma, but they're trying to lessen their karma, because I feel like there were people that kind of got roped in, and then there's the other people then took it too far, and they're panicking that because they got roped in, that they're going to get a really severe, something's going on, something that they don't want you to know about. Somebody's business is affected, somebody's money, something is crumbling around a business, money, and a relationship, or their relationship with each other. This is, like I said, this is a person, it could be a couple or it could be a group, but they're having relationship issues. They're having money issues. There's conflict just left, right and centre. I'm just seeing, like, I'm standing there, I feel like I'm just standing, like I can see it in my mind's eye. I'm watching people just like, well, you did this and you did this and you did this and you did this. They're trying to work out who took it too far. At what point did they take it too far? I would say when you started the smear campaign, you took it too far. That was already taking it too far. And then the fact that you carried on after you were warned to stop took it that little step further. You shouldn't have started the smear campaign in the beginning, is what I'm hearing. They shouldn't have started the smear campaign in the beginning. We have happiness is my birthright. Absolutely. You trust, have faith in the divine, and that everything's going to be all right for you. And as a result of, you know, doing what you needed to do during this cycle, abundance is manifesting for you. I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with the eyes of love. Absolutely. You stopped trying to save these people from their karma and just handed it over to spirit and said, there you go. I've done all I can do. I've warned them. It's almost like a tag you're it kind of situation. And spirit were like, it's okay, we've got you. That's what we needed you to do. Hand it over to us and we'll deal with it. The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. What did I just say? You kind of surrendered the outcome by saying, I've done what I can do. I can't do any more. Here you go. If they have to receive karma, then they receive karma. I can't save them anymore. On the bottom of the deck, there is a stream of love supporting my dreams. Absolutely. You are protected. There is abundance coming in for you. Things are manifesting. You're glowing up. And that has these people shook, okay? Because whilst they didn't see this glow up, they didn't believe that things were going well for you. And now they're seeing this glow up for their own eyes. And now that's what's making them realise that actually karma is coming for them. They thought they'd successfully managed to shove their karma onto you. And spirit are saying no. And you're saying, no, have it back. That's yours. That's not mine. That's a you problem. And now they're crapping themselves. They're worried. They're concerned. They know it's coming. If it's not already. I feel like it already is. Or maybe somebody's worried that in this conflict that someone's going to find out what they did, that someone else doesn't. Someone doesn't know what somebody did, and they're worried it's going to come out. So there was within the group, there was somebody within the group that went rogue, so to speak. Somebody within the group went rogue, and they're worried that this group of people are going to find out. They're worried they're going to find out. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Namaste.